Moki Bubuale Konsi. A very good evening and welcome once again to those of you that have joined. We're going to start the broadcast. So many updates, so many information that I will share with us this evening as usual. But the first one I'm going to be sharing with us is the statement that we've just released by my very own brother, uncle, father, maybe not, but someone that a lot of us are looking up to. I pray so many of you will have opportunity to also share a one-time opportunity with him, whether through talking to him on the phone or having the pleasure to meet him. And that is the one and only Chief Sunday Adeniyi Adeyemo Igbowo. We have released a statement. We have released a statement just about 35 minutes ago. I'm going to read that statement. And also, I'll be posting that statement onto the conversation right now. We are streaming. What we need to understand first is there's a lot of track record of different calibers of people around the world, or those within Nigeria, or those within the Yoruba race. And I'm sure sometimes record repeat itself. Everybody agrees on that. But what we also need to understand is we are fighting for a Yoruba nation. That means we are not fighting for our individual selfish interest. And we will definitely disagree and agree on this journey. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, I want us to reflect and think and ask so many questions. That this Yoruba nation that we are fighting for, this Yoruba nation that we want at all costs, is because we are not going to back down. Whether some people like it or not, that does not get anything with us. Back to the conversation. Before I read that statement, I will be putting that statement because some of you might not have seen it. Some of you must have seen it because you watch and listen and follow what happens on Koiki Media and all our platforms. You can help us to share that statement. That statement is coming from Chief Sunday Adeniyi Adeyemo Igbowo. And I have the authorization to release that statement. And that statement, I will be reading that statement out shortly while I'm posting that statement on all our timeline. And then after that statement, I will then come back and then we will start looking at what happened yesterday. We've been places yesterday and we will tell you where we've been. Ibitalolano. But before we go into that, let us read that statement out. And like I said, this is a press release. It goes like this. Anyone who is willing to support the agitation for Yoruba nation is highly welcome. The goal is Yoruba nation now. We know what we want and no going back. Every other side talk is nothing but distraction. We are fully focused. Yoruba nation is the goal. Let me reiterate. Anything you did not hear from I, Sunday Adeyemo, aka Igbowo, or my spokesperson, Olayomi Koiki, of Koiki Media is not a fact. Chief Femi, Fani Kayode is one of the stakeholders that identifies with us on the struggle of the Yoruba nation agitation. He can give his own advice at any time as regard the agitation, and there is no reason to doubt him. We have 100% confidence in him. Let's not talk with envy. We must unite and stay strong in one voice. Therefore, we want to identify with Chief Femi, Fani, Kayode, and any other person that stands for the Yoruba race, irrespective of their religion or political affiliation. Thank you and God bless. 11th of March 2021, Olayomi Koiki, spokesman. I understand and I know very well, as Yoruba people, we go back into history. And history plays back itself sometimes. I understand all that. But what we need to understand is, we are fighting for a big cause. And we want to remind ourselves that this cause of this Yoruba agitation involves a lot of our Yorubas, brothers and sisters, regardless of their political affiliation, their religion. And if since last year we have been talking, asking every one of them to back down from this Nigeria, and they refuse to do so, the question I am now putting to every one of us, I'm going to speak in Yoruba, bear with me, but we got to speak English as well. I'm also Yoruba, Ajayi Stephanie. Don't be in a hurry. I've told you so many times that we have so many of our children that we must carry along. Because tebani kama so Yoruba ni gbogbo gba lóòrèkóòrè àwọn ọmọ tó bí sílẹ̀ òyìnbó tó pọ̀ rẹpẹtẹ báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ follow in tan so. So let us remember that all the time. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí. And they are not just only in US, in Canada, in America. They are all over the world. We are fighting for Yoruba nation. And we have Yoruba politicians that are still believing in this contraction called Nigeria. And we've been talking to them, asking them to back away from this contraction called Nigeria. The question now we should be asking ourselves is, how do we tell them to back down? Tí Femi, Fani, Kayode tó bá lè jáde kó ṣàdé lórí fídíò pé òun ò support Yoruba nation. Let him come out and defend himself that he, Femi, Fani, Kayode, is not supporting a Yoruba nation. Kó jáde kó wá sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. And it's not just going to be him alone. We have so many Yorubas that are House of Representatives, senators, and there are still one reason why we are still inside this Nigeria. Because they believe so much in Nigeria, and that is a big problem and an obstacle for every single one of us. Some of you have called us. Some of you have even asked that we deal with them because they are the problem while we are still inside Nigeria. I'm sure a lot of you knows that. And if we are saying, Tabawan sọ pé Yoruba nation tí à ń fẹ́ yìí, Yoruba nation tí a fẹ́ gbà yìí, Yoruba nation tí à ń agitate fún yìí, ṣe fi pé èèyàn kan péré ni obstacle wa. Do you think it's just one person? What about all the Yorubas? Kí ni gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá tó kù tí wọ́n tẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n sọ kankan rárá? Gbogbo wọn ṣe gbogbo Yorùbá politician wọ́n gbọ́ rárá pé a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. Èmi bí yín ni o. Whether they are APC, whether they are PDP, whether they are any political party, the question we should be asking ourselves is, and some of us are friends to them as well. Ǹjẹ́ yìí ti ń bá wọn sọ? But like I said, if he can come out and deny that he does not support Yoruba nation, live on the camera or release a press statement, let him come out and say so officially. And I'm saying Chief Femi, Fani, Kayode. Out of this agitation that have started, how many Yoruba politicians have defended the killings taking place in in all our land? Àwọn mélòó gangan ló ti jáde nínú gbogbo àwọn politicians wa tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ sókè. Let's leave. Gbogbo wa láti bá àwọn kábíyèsí wa sọ̀rọ̀. Gbogbo wa láti point finger sáwọn àwọn kábíyèsí, àwọn ọba wa. Ǹjẹ́ àtẹ̀ point finger sí àwọn political party, àwọn politicians wa tó jẹ́ Yorùbá, àwọn senators wa tó jókòó sínú Abuja, and they still believe that this country is going to work. Some of them are also preparing for the 2023 election. we all continue to look at one person, ṣé ìyẹn nìkan ló máa sọ pé kí Yorùbá má lọ? 1 million of them cannot say Yoruba is not going. Yoruba is definitely going. But the question is, what about all the other Yoruba politicians, present and past? Why are they not saying anything? I think sọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò nínú Nigeria. If all these politicians that are Yorubas believing that they are representing us, àwa non represent. Àwa àwọn èèyàn tó dìbò fún wọn ló represent. But do you know that they are not interested in this Yoruba agitation? They are not interested. Like somebody said there, their stomach is full and they don't care. We will talk about the money with the GoFundMe. I just see somebody say, tell Maureen to release the money. No, we tell GoFundMe now to release the money because the money now is hanging between GoFundMe. GoFundMe, Gongolo Dowo Mobile. It is not Maureen. And I'm sure those of us that are intelligent and those of us that are smart knows that as long as the money is still on GoFundMe, it has not yet been released. Until tó yẹn bá jáde tó wọnú account Sister Maureen, la máa lè sọ pé owó yẹn kí ló dé tí wọ́n send sáwa lọ́dọ̀ chief. But as long as tó yẹn sì ń bẹ nínú GoFundMe, the money has not been released. The problem of that now is GoFundMe is holding the money. And I'll be telling us into that. We'll come back to that. But let us now ask all the Yoruba politicians representing Lagos, Ogun State, Oyo, representing Ekiti, Kogi, Kwara, Ondo, Osun. Why are they not saying anything with this agitation? Why are they not saying anything with the Fulani terrorists that are roaming around Southwest and killing us? Do you think one person of Chief Feni Kayode would not allow us to get Yoruba nation? And if you is one person, I'm asking everybody. We're going to open the phone line later on. If you one person, one man will change a Yoruba nation that we are already working to make sure it becomes a dream. It becomes the reality rather than a dream. Because a lot of people are thinking it's a dream. Some of you are even doubting yourself. Some of us watching right now are still doubting. Ẹlòmíì àtúnjókòó á máa wò báyìí. Ẹlòmíì ó ti sú. Ẹlòmíì nù wa ó ti sú wa. Pé ìntẹ̀tí fàfàfàfà bọ́yì ìjẹ́ pé ó máa bọ́ sí. Ẹ fi sílẹ̀, ẹ jẹ́ kóun máa ṣe tó ń ṣe lọ. But tó bá jẹ́ pé ọmọ kan ni kó jáde kó deny ẹ̀ pé òun ò support Yorùbá nation. Ẹni kó jáde, èmi lèmi sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹni kó jáde pé òun ò support Yorùbá nation.